Hi again. So today's class is a beginner's yoga class with a bit of a focus on seated postures. So it's nice and easy, accessible hopefully for beginners, and I hope you enjoy it. We'll get going. So we can begin first of all sitting either with the feet flat, the knees bent, or if possible just crossing those legs. Really connecting both sitting bones to the floor. We release the shoulders down and away from the ears and just focusing on that posture. So we're trying to align and stack the vertebrae, creating length through the spine. We just bring those fingertips down to the floor and we begin to engage and get in touch with our breath. So we can begin to consciously slow the breath down. Just try to clear the mind, detaching from any thoughts, any feelings. Try to just imagine the thoughts passing by like clouds. We're not holding judgment. We're sending our focus inwards towards our breath, using that breath to steady the mind and find our center. If possible, we restrict the back of the throat. So we're trying to close the mouth down so we can breathe both in and out through the nose, just stimulating what we call the Ujjayi breath. So this breath helps us to calm down. It also helps us generate and build heat. And so staying with those long and slow inhalations and exhalations. On the next inhalation, we lift both arms, bend the elbows and take hold of those elbows, but try not to let the shoulders rise too much. As we exhale, we just begin to rotate and turn slowly to the sides. We breathe in to come back to center, and then exhale, rotate, turning slowly to the other side. It's a subtle twist in the thoracic spine, breathing in center. As we breathe out again, we begin to rotate in that spine. Breathing into center. And one more time, exhale, rotate, turn slowly to the side. Breathe in to come forwards and release the arms. As we exhale, just begin to walk those fingertips forwards. We begin to round in the spine, coming slowly down towards the floor. Trying to keep both sitting bones connected to the floor, so we're not rocking forwards, but staying grounded here. Maybe just walking those hands over to the right hand side, so we work through the side of the body, creating a curve. Remember to stay with that breath. We come back to center. Same to the other side, walking those fingertips over so we create that curve through the spine. Coming back to center. Slowly roll up and restack the vertebrae. And we change those legs over. So we bring the other leg in front. Same thing again, shoulders relax. Walk fingertips forwards. And as we exhale, we round in the spine, leaving both sitting bones connected to the floor. Option to stay here. We walk the hands over to the side, lengthening into the side of the body. Again, we're not collapsing here, but staying engaged in our center, thinking about creating length and extension in that curve through the spine. Back to center, we change sides. Walk hands over. Again, opening side of the body. We bring it back. Slowly rolling up through the spine, restacking those vertebrae. We bring palms together, forearms and elbows close as well. As we inhale, we lift the elbows in line with those shoulders. As we exhale, interlace the fingers and press the palms forwards, creating a contraction in the center, so round in the spine. We release the hands. Breathe in to interlace the fingers behind the body. This time as we exhale, we draw shoulder blades back and down. Think about opening and expanding across the ribcage. One more time, we bring palms together, forearms and elbows close. Inhale, lifting elbows in line with those shoulders. As we exhale, interlace fingers, pressing palms forwards, round in the spine, creating space across the upper back between the scapula, between those shoulder blades. Releasing hands, interlace fingers, drawing shoulders back and down, expand across the ribcage, maybe lift to look up. Remember, we're staying with our breath. We exhale to release. So we readjust and just find a tabletop position. So bring the hands directly underneath the shoulders and knees directly underneath the hips. First of all, we inhale to release in the spine and try to look up towards the ceiling. As we exhale, we round in the back, bring chin to chest, looking down towards the floor. Breathing in, we release. Exhale, round in the back, bring chin to chest, looking down towards the floor, resisting the floor with the heel of the hands. And one more time, breathing in, we release. As we exhale, we press round in the spine. Breathing in, coming back to centre. And on the next exhalation, just begin to fold from the hips, opening into those shoulders, lengthening through the spine in a child's pose. If we feel comfortable here, we stay here. Maybe sweep the arms round and interlace the fingers behind the body, just breathing into that fold. Releasing hands. Just take your time to readjust and press to lift back into our tabletop position. From here, breathe in, lift and float that right leg up towards the ceiling first of all. And as we exhale, we sweep this leg forwards. Now we try to open, externally rotate that hip joint, but keep the back leg long. Shoulders relaxed, we're coming into pigeon pose. And we can stay here if this feels comfortable, or to go a bit further into the fold, further into the posture, we bring maybe forearms or the upper body down to the floor to release. Option, if we have room, we extend in both arms. And with that oceanic breath, just breathing into the fold, settling into the posture, using the breath as a guide. Slowly bring the hands again underneath those shoulders. We push against the floor to lift. Lift and bring the back leg round to the front of the body. We place the foot either next to the shin or lift and place the foot to the outside of the opposite thigh. Aim here to keep both sitting bones on the floor, so we're trying not to lift and rock away from the floor. Releasing shoulders, we bring fingertips down. Option, we stay here. Maybe inhale to lift the arm and bend the elbow, and exhale, rotate. We're turning towards the knee that's facing the ceiling, so that we can bring this arm to the outside of the opposite thigh, so opposite arm to leg, and bring fingertips down to the floor. We sit tall. To a deep spinal twist. Lift and place this foot to the other side of that lower leg, and this time we take hold either of the shin, or if we have quite flexible hamstrings, we can bring the fingertips around that foot. We lift the foot away from the floor, releasing shoulders down, and exhale, press to extend that leg, lifting into heron pose. Trying not to let the shoulders rise, or use the resistance through the arm, through the arms, through the leg, to lift the upper body out towards the toes in heron pose. We're always conscious of our breath, using the breath to settle the mind and work into the posture. And so we release. Just readjust the body in whichever way is comfortable for you. So again, find our table position. So we readjust here. Again, hands are underneath those shoulders, knees underneath the hips. This time as we breathe in, we lift and float the other leg up towards the ceiling. So left leg. As we exhale, we soften into that knee. Bring the weight forwards and try to rotate externally from that hip. If possible, we lengthen in the back leg. And we can stay upright, so we can keep it here. Or maybe bend in the elbows, bringing those forearms down to the floor. Or to settle further into the posture, we release over that front leg. Make sure we're breathing. Working into that fold. Option to extend in both arms if that's accessible for you. So we work into those shoulders as well. In pigeon pose. Slowly begin to draw those hands back in. And once again, push against the floor with the heel of the hands, lifting away from the mat. We sweep that back leg round. Again, we place the foot either next to the shin, or if possible, lift and place the foot to the outside of the thigh. But remember, we want to keep both sitting bones connected to the floor. Shoulders are relaxed, fingertips down, and we can stay here. Or option, breathe in, lifting the arm to bend the elbow, and exhale, coming into a spinal twist. We bring the arm to the outside of the opposite thigh, opposite arm to opposite leg, fingertips to the floor, rotate into that spine. Sitting as tall as possible, so we're trying to avoid collapsing here. Just using this arm almost like a lever to rotate. If this isn't comfortable, we can always just take hold of the outside of that thigh. And then again we release. Lift and bring that foot close to the shin. And again we might take hold of the shin or interlace the fingers around the foot if we have flexible hamstrings, lifting the foot to relax the shoulders. Then exhale, press to extend in that leg, lifting into heron pose. So again, we're trying not to compromise the posture through the spine. We're trying not to fall and collapse back, but lift up and out towards those toes, creating good alignment. Using the breath for support. So again we release. This time both legs extend, sending the legs long in front of the body. Releasing shoulders down. We're opening across the ribcage, but we're trying not to flare here. So just creating a straight line from the top of the head to the sitting bones. As we breathe in, we lift both arms, relax shoulders away from the ears. As we exhale, we think about lifting up, over and round, coming towards those toes. So hands maybe come to the thighs, the shins, or we might reach for those feet, but we're trying not to collapse. So we're thinking about lifting up and over. This is Paschimottanasana. Again, we roll slowly up through the spine, restacking the vertebrae. Bring those hands behind the body and the fingertips face the same direction as the feet. So fingertips towards the hips and the heels. Maybe just pressing down through the arms slightly. We expand across the ribcage, creating a back bend. Option if we want a little bit more to go further, lifting those hips away from the floor into a reverse plank. Slow release back down towards the floor. From here, knees soften. We bring our feet flat first of all, lengthening those arms, fingertips forwards. And we try to lift just those heels away from the floor. And so we can stay here. Option, we lift one foot, or maybe both feet away from the floor, but try not to compromise the upper body. We're keeping our center engaged and strong. Maybe we lengthen in both legs into a boat pose. Keep breathing. Using that center, staying strong. Remember, the knees can bend, but if possible, legs extend. We hold. Softening in those knees, placing feet close together. Just let the knees fall gently away towards the floor. We take hold either of those shins or take hold of the feet. First of all, sitting tall. And then as we exhale, we begin to round in the spine. And we come forwards towards those toes. We can leave the hands connected to the feet. Maybe we open the palms to the ceiling, bring forearms to the floor, or option to send those arms underneath the lower legs. And on an exhalation, use this like a lever to fold a bit further into the fold. So again, we slowly restack the vertebrae, lifting, knees towards the ceiling. Then lengthen those legs and just send the legs wider. Again, sitting tall first of all, we release shoulders down into the back. Breathe in, finding our center, we sit tall. As we breathe out, we begin to walk those fingertips forwards. And we can find a point where we can't come much further with the back straight. We begin to gently round towards the floor. Option, We bring 2 fingers around each big toe if we're lucky to have that flexibility. We use that exhalation to fold towards the floor. Using that breath to work into the stretch. Breathing helps us work into stretches and improves our flexibility. We don't ever bounce, but just slowly ease the body in. And slowly restack the vertebrae, again lifting away from the floor. Knees bent, feet are flat. As we inhale, we lengthen through the arms, fingertips are forward, sitting tall. Exhale, hinge hips, tuck the tailbone underneath, and just slowly connect to the floor, 1 vertebrae at a time. We release, lengthening through both legs. First of all, inhale, soften just one knee, doesn't matter too much which knee. Interlace the fingers and draw that knee in towards the upper body. Just trying to keep that connection to the floor through the spine, and we're not holding any tension in the neck or in the shoulders, keeping the upper body nice and free. Releasing that lower leg, we take the outside of the thigh, the arm extends, then as we exhale, just begin to work this knee across the body, working gently into the spine. So one hip will lift away from the floor. If possible, we're trying to keep both shoulder blades connected to the floor here. We might turn and look away from that knee, so we work through the entire spine, full spinal twist. And then we can release. Changing sides. So the other knee bends. Interlace the fingers around the shin. Gently draw the knee in towards the upper body. Again, thinking about spreading those shoulder blades down into the mat, keeping that neck nice and free. There should be a full connection to the floor through the spine. Again, we can release, and this time take the outside of the thigh. On an exhalation, as we breathe out, we work the knee across the body. Lengthen the opposite arm if we have room, if not we can bend the elbow. And then again try and turn and look away from the knee, creating a full spinal twist. And so coming back to centre. Both knees bend this time. We take hold of those shins, drawing knees in, and just rock gently from side to side, releasing any tension in that lower back. And just to finally open through the hips, placing feet together. On an exhalation, let those knees fall towards the floor. Connecting the soles of the feet, we open the palms to the ceiling. And just let gravity take the weight of the knees down towards the floor. Supta Baddha Konasana. Slowly Draw the knees towards the ceiling. And then we extend in both legs. Let the feet just roll slightly to the side of the body. Breathing. Returning to a natural breathing pattern now. Clear the mind. Into Shavasana. And so just begin to gently move those fingers, move the toes, bring the body back to life. Bending those knees, we take hold of those shins, again knees come in towards the upper body, and just rock gently from side to side. And we can release both knees down to the floor, and we lift slowly up, just finding a seated position that's comfortable for you. Maybe legs long or legs crossed. Fingertips come down to the floor. To finish, as always, we take a deep breath in through the nose, lifting both arms. Breathe out through the mouth. And one more time, breathing in. Exhale out through the mouth. And relax. Namaste. Thank you very much. If there's anything that you'd like, please comment below and I can make a video if you wouldn't want anything in particular. Thank you very much.